Hey guys, there are 3 things that discipline must be. If you want to know what it is, stick around and we are going to talk all about it. The discipline has to be individualized and it has to be consistent for each child. You can't necessarily discipline an 18-month-old the same way you would discipline a 5-year-old. Their level of understanding is totally different. But you also have to make sure that you are consistent the way you are disciplining them. If it's going to be something, let's say for example, a 5-year-old, if the 5-year-old is breaking crayons and you're constantly telling them, hey, we can't break crayons, we don't want to mess up supply, so then we're not going to have anything to color with. And they continue to break them, what will be individualized for that child will be to remove the crayons from them and to let them know until you're able to see that they can take care of maybe one crayon instead of the whole box that you give them, then they cannot have the whole box. And so that is something that you are individualizing for that one child. Remember, an 18-month-old, you can't expect them to understand stop breaking crayons because they cannot comprehend or understand that. So make sure it's individualized and it's consistent. Another thing about individualized is if one child does something bad or makes a bad choice, I don't want to say bad, makes a bad choice, you don't want to punish the whole group. All right, everybody clean up toys because this child is breaking toys. That's why you have to individualize that discipline for that particular child. It has to be for the level of that child's understanding. Like I mentioned on the first one, you really cannot expect an 18-month-old to understand not to break crayons. But a 5-year-old, you definitely can expect that child to understand what happens when they break a crayon. Also break it down to them, like the consequences of what happens when they break a crayon. Also ask them, why are they breaking a crayon? You know, it goes so much more deeper than telling them no. You don't want to focus on just saying no. You also want to switch it. You want to switch it with something that they can do. Okay, you cannot break the crayons because if you break the crayons, then we won't have anything to color with and we won't be able to do art. So I'm going to give you one crayon and I want you to show me you know how to take care of that one crayon. What color crayon do you want? Allow them to choose. So you're disciplining them, you're teaching them at the same time, and you're also allowing them to make a choice. And let's say they use the blue crayon. All right, well, can you draw me a blue sky? And show me how beautiful the blue sky can be. Or show me a blue car and how amazing. And then you kind of want to transition and get more into their life. Oh, okay, I'll make a blue car. Oh, okay, what color is your car? Well, my car is green. Wow, tell me all the amazing places that you get to go to in your car. Well, we get to go to the zoo and we go to church on Sundays and sometimes we go get ice cream. Oh, you love ice cream? I love ice cream too. Yeah, Mr. Ray, I love ice cream. And in your car, does it drive everywhere? Does it go fast? And so, yeah, sometimes when I'm with dad, it goes real fast. And you want to just get them deep into that story. Like, man, would you be able to drive that car? Would mommy and daddy be able to drive that car if someone broke it? Oh no, what will happen? Well, it wouldn't go anywhere. So you mean to tell me if someone broke mommy and daddy's car, it wouldn't be able to drive anymore? So you wouldn't be able to go to church and zoo and get ice cream and all those fun places? Yeah, Mr. Ray, we wouldn't like it if someone broke mommy and daddy's car, right? No, Mr. Ray, we wouldn't, because then we won't be able to do those things. You know what? It's kind of like with our crayons. If we break our crayons, we're not able to color. And you just made me a beautiful picture telling me all about your life and all the wonderful things you're doing. Yeah, but you know what? You said your mommy's car is green. But right now, Mr. Ray is only allowing you to color with the blue because what? Because I break them. Yeah, but that's okay. You made a bad choice. You're still a wonderful and amazing child. We're just going to make better choices, right? Tomorrow when we do art, Mr. Ray is going to give you another chance, or you could say in the afternoon when we do art again, Mr. Ray is going to give you another chance, okay? And I want to see what beautiful pictures you can color for me, okay? We want to make sure we take care of our things. Okay, Mr. Ray. Now, obviously it's not always going to be that way, but you see what I did? So you don't want it to be like, no. And that story leads me right into number 3, which is it has to be something that is going to allow a child to learn. It's a teaching them of how to have self-control and making good choices. Yes, those are the 3 things that discipline must be. Now, a caregiver should only be using positive discipline and guidance that encourages self-esteem, self-control, and self-discipline. And it should have at least the following: using praise and encouragement of good behavior instead of focusing only upon unacceptable behavior. Reminding a child of behavior expectations daily by using clear, positive statements. Redirecting behavior using positive statements, and using brief supervised separation or time out of the group when appropriate for the child's age and development, which is limited to no more than 1 minute per year of the child's age. So if you have an 18-month-old, or let's use a better age, if you have a 2-year-old, you're not going to want to remove them from the group or have a calming time and put them there for 5 minutes, because that's not appropriate for their age. They say in the state of Texas, they say you should never put a child separated from the group, or what people usually call a timeout or a calming session. You should never do that and put them there for more than 1 minute for each year, so it equals their age. So if it's 2, it's 2 minutes. If it's 3, it's 3 minutes. It's 4, 4, and 5, and 5. Now, I personally do not do the whole timeout thing, because usually timeout is just for the caregiver. If you want to know how I deal with timeout, make sure you check out the timeout video, and it's going to give you some amazing ideas on what you can do to foster the children's or the child's understanding on consequences of the choices that they make. Now, in the state of Texas, they do outline 9 things that you cannot do. It is prohibited, and this is just a minimum. You cannot use any cruel or harsh punishment, and these are the things that the state of Texas child care licensing says is completely prohibited. Remember, these are just minimum. Corporal punishment or threats of corporal punishment. Punishment associated with food, naps, or toilet training. Pinching, shaking, or biting a child. Hitting a child with a hand or instrument. Putting anything in a child's mouth or on a child's mouth. Humiliating, ridiculing, rejecting, or yelling at a child. Subjecting a child to harsh, abusive, or profane language. Placing a child in a locked or dark room, bathroom, or closet with the door closed. Requiring a child to remain silent or inactive for an inappropriate long period of time that is way above the child's age. So in addition to the minimum requirements as stated right there in the discipline and guidance for the state of Texas, this is what my policy handbook also states. Redirection and verbal communication is used as a method of discipline. Your child will be treated with courteous and respect. In the event your child's behavior endangers others, he or she will be separated from the rest of the group for a sensible period of time. If a child continues to have difficulty in a particular situation, the child may be removed to a safe place or a thinking chair, where they will have the opportunity to regain control over their emotions and calmly resolve the situation before they return to the group. In the event that your child's behavior continues and becomes seriously disruptive, we will notify you immediately. Now, I like to talk about discipline and guidance because this is like one of those areas where I feel like, okay, we are really gifted in this area, Miss Destiny and I, because you have to sometimes get on a level of where a child is. There are so many things that affects our children's behavior, what's going on at home, what they're eating, and just not being heard. How frustrating is it to be a child and you're trying to grow in your mind, you're trying to understand things, but the adults in your life, they're not really communicating to you in a way that you understand. I remember hearing this story one time at church, and the guy was telling a story about his friend, and his friend was like, man, I don't know what to do with my child. You know, he's 2 years old. One day we were outside, and I kept telling him, you can ride your bike, but don't go past that curve. So what did the child do? He went past the curve. So the dad brought him in, well, you can't ride your bike anymore. He tried another day. He said, hey, you can ride your bike, but do not go past the curve. He went through past the curve again. So this time the dad spanked him. So then the next day, the dad said, okay, you can play with your bike. I really believe that you've learned and you understand. Do not go past the curve, okay? Because if you go past the curve, daddy's gonna have to spank you again. The child went on playing, it was great, but before you know it, he went past the curve. As the son came up to the dad was just furious. He was screaming, he was yelling, and he was like, why do you not listen to me? Why do you keep going past the curve? Every time I have to spank you, why? And with tears in his eyes, the little boy looked up at his dad and said, Daddy, what's a curve? When I heard that story, I was like, oh my gosh, because that's so true. How often are we communicating on a level that we think our children understand? The little boy was 2. He had no idea what a curve was. Therefore, what dad thought was crossing the boundary, the little boy really had no idea what he was doing. So when it comes to children, we really have to slow down. What the dad could have did was take his son by the hand, told him how much he really wants him to be able to ride his bike, and let him know, hey son, this is a curve, okay? This is the curve right here. This block part right here by the sidewalk, by the driveway. I don't want you to go past it, which means you will be onto the street. And the reason why I don't want you to go onto the street is because people come driving through our neighborhood all the time. And daddy really does not want someone to be in their car and not see you, and then you get hit by the car. That would break daddy's heart so much. And I really don't want you to get always all on your body. Do you understand? And 9 times out of 10, a child will let you know if they understand or not. And if you're looking at their face, they'll understand. Okay, I get it, I don't get it. The child might not even understand, well, what do you mean, Dad, that they won't see me? They can see me, people see them all the time. You can remind them. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes people are distracted with their phones and the radio. And so you're safer over here, okay? So you can ride your bike all through the driveway. You can ride it up and down the sidewalk. But son, please don't go over there because I really want you to be safe. Now I want you to know if you do go on that side and you pass the curve, the consequence, or that's a big word, then daddy will have to take your bike, okay? And you will not be able to ride your bike the rest of the day. Now let me know you understand. Tell me what daddy said. And have that child repeat it back to you. Being in childcare takes a lot of patience. It's not just about income. It's not just about, oh, kids are cute and they're fun. You really have a chance to have a positive impact on kids' lives. You're helping them to develop social skills, emotional skills, physical skills, like all of these skills. But in order to do that, you have to slow down and you have to get on their level and you have to try to think how they think, or you will never be able to break through. You're gonna go crazy because you're gonna wanna be this bully parent or this bully caregiver where it is what I say it is, and you just expect children to understand and get it, and they do not. Some of us adults are still, we don't get it. Men don't understand women, women don't understand men, and we're like, oh, we're like all adults. So just imagine how scary it is as a child trying to grow and understand, but you don't have the adults in your lives willing to slow down enough to break things down for you. Question of the day. What are some of the things that you use in your childcare or even with your children when it comes to discipline and guidance? Comment below. Remember, interact with each other. That's how we continue to grow in this amazing community. As always, thank you for joining Alive Learning Academy, your YouTube channel for tips, tricks, and training, all in the area of caring for children. And if this is your first time, hit the subscribe, hit the alert button so you will know the next time we upload brand new videos. As always, you guys are amazing, awesome sauce, super duper great. Like this video, share this video, but most importantly, make sure you are learning from this video. And I'm out.